Oh my. In our beautiful lives. All right, everyone. Hello, hello, hello to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And one more second. I have one more. I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to fire up the Instagram. Okay, here we go. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the weekly download. This is a very, very special new offering that I instituted at the 1st of October and will be happening on the 1st of every month, God willing. The idea is that we will gather on the 1st of every month to outline and talk about the energies and key astrological points during the month ahead. What we'll also do is we will dive into some intuitive messages. Today, I have a fun game for you to play, and I'll also introduce you to the workshops that we're going to be doing this week for the weekly downloads. Okay, so before we get started, I want everybody to just kind of close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of a number between 1 and 7. I am sending you intuitively a number. What number am I sending you? So now I just want you to write it down on the side. Write down what number it was that you got. And then I'll tell you. So the number that I sent was a number 7. Yes! Andrea and Io got it right. Amazing. How many of you else? How many others got it right? And you know, this is something that I wanted to really kind of start with today, because this is a month for fine-tuning your intuitive abilities, your psychic abilities. We are currently deep in the month of Scorpio, which began about a week ago. And what we know about the sign of Scorpio, which will be in until the 22nd of November, the sign of Scorpio is a water sign. And water signs are always the most intuitive signs in the zodiac. You could also have different placements in your astrological chart. For example, you could have sun, moon, or rising, and then sun, moon, and rising, and then any of those placements too will also enhance your intuitive abilities based upon where it is, particularly where the moon is. For example, my moon is in the sign of Scorpio, so that happens to be where I get my intuitive abilities astrologically for. But every single one of us has each and every one of the signs in our astrological chart, in our astrological makeup. Okay, the sign of Scorpio will show up in your house system. And for those of you who know or are familiar with astrology, if you look and see what house Scorpio rules in your chart, it will tell you that is where in your life you are and happen to be the most intuitive. Okay, so you may be asking, how do you find that? You can go to astro.com, create a free birth chart. I believe also chani.com also has a wonderful birth chart that you can download for free. Also Pamela Gregory, wonderful astrologer that I highly recommend. She also can help you pinpoint that as well. But the truth is that every single one of us is intuitive. It is a lie that usually a lot of our major religions said was very, very bad. Very bad, right? It's very bad to be psychic. It's very bad to be intuitive. They used to say that if you are psychic or if you are intuitive, that you are a witch and that you should be burned at the stake, right? But we know now in today's day and age that couldn't be further from the truth. And as we step into the age of enlightenment, also known as the age of Aquarius, we're going to start to see that the only thing that you're really going to be able to trust in this universe is your intuition. What is intuition? Intuition is that aspect of you that is connected to your soul, right? It is the place with which your soul shines through. What is your soul? Your soul is that slice, if you will, that aspect of you that is also an aspect of the creator. And so what we know to be true with that amazing, amazing energy is once you start to cultivate, to fine tune, to become clearer with your intuition and your intuitive abilities, connect to your soul, it means you live a more embodied life. Embodied as in an embodiment of the universe, an embodiment of the act and the energy of the creator of all that is. And from that space and with that energy, things will just start to happen for you. You will relieve yourself from all the fears, the doubts, the uncertainties, and things will just happen for you. And if you think that this is a utopian ideal, think again. Science is actually proving that it's not so much what you're doing, but more in how you're relaxing, and receiving. So just give me 1 second. I need to answer the door. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So intuition, as it is connected to all that is and the creator of all that is an internal compass. And what we're going to do today is we're going to actually look at where we are required to have more alignment with our compass, with our inner compass, because there are some astrological aspects this month that each and every one of us want to pay very, very, very close attention to. Okay. And what I know to be true, or what I can share with you, is a lot of these things will come and to test you. A lot of these aspects will come and test you. And as they come and test you, they'll test you with different aspects of your life. Okay. And what I know to be true is that everything is just, all of these things, these astrological influences and all this and all that, it's just a mirage, a matrix, if you will, right? There's nothing that you don't have free will over. So even though we are tapping into the astrological influences of this month, you have free will. Okay? Because you have free will, it is almost like, you got to think of it like a video game, right? If you've ever played, like I used to love Super Mario Brothers when I was a kid. When I would play Super Mario Brothers, you'd go through and then you'd make it to the end and you'd get the princess and you'd grab the flag and everything would be fine and amazing and you'd be like, yay. And then you'd go to the next level. And when you got to the next level, all of a sudden there was some big scary monster and some crazy obstacle course that you had to go through, and you had to go through it several times and restart over and over and over again before you actually figured it out. Astrology, in my point of view, works the same way, right? The stars keep coming around. They keep coming around. They keep coming around to give us an opportunity to ascend, to learn, to grow, to become better versions of ourselves. They are not meant to take you down. They are not meant to defeat you. They are only there to strengthen and empower you. Okay? So with that, there are 3 things that I want to really, really point out this month. We're going to point out and talk about Uranus. Uranus is going retrograde back into Taurus. Okay, this is very, very important. We'll discuss that in a minute. Second thing we're going to talk about is this particular Mercury in retrograde beginning on November 9th. Also very important, Mercury retrograde. And the third thing is the new moon of Scorpio happening around, I believe it's the 22nd or the 23rd. These are all, I'll give you the key dates, but again, it's not even necessarily important that you know the key dates, but that you know that as things start to happen, that it's not you, right? Oftentimes we go, oh my God, can you believe this is happening? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Sometimes it's not really about you. Sometimes it's about what can you choose to do in a frequency that's lighter for you, right? And so as you dive into that, what I want you to begin to look at is to start to look at how you're growing, how you're changing, how you're evolving, how you are becoming a more incredible channel of the light of the Creator. That is the goal, my friends. Every single one of us. That is the goal, to become closer to the light. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is Uranus in Taurus. Okay? So first, let's talk about the planet Uranus. Uranus is oftentimes the sign of upheaval, meaning whenever it enters into an energy, it takes all of those things and kind of turns them upside down. Okay? Turns them upside down. Now, Uranus entered into the sign of Taurus several years ago, actually. And you can look at what started to happen several years ago and what has happened in the last few years in terms of money, in terms of structure, in terms of housing, in terms of all those things, grounding, all those things that are so significant about the energy of Taurus. So what Uranus does is it comes along and it says, oh, you think that that's the way you make money? Let me show you another way. It says, oh, you think that's the way you have to build a foundation? Let me show you another way. It says, oh, you think that that's how you have to have commitment in a relationship? Oh, let me show you another way. Uranus and Taurus actually began in 2018, okay? And it's about to transition out. It will transition out. It's in a retrograde phase now, which is why I'm mentioning it now again. It's coming back. It softly moved into Gemini. Uranus moved into Gemini in June for several months, but it's retrograding back into Taurus until I believe it's February or something. I don't remember the exact dates of how long it goes, but what's very, very key is at this particular time, literally from now until, let's say, March, late February, March, with the Uranus retrograde Taurus, you may find yourself questioning the value of money, the value of your resources, the value of what you think security means. Okay? Many of us have bought a point of view that in order for you to have security and make money, that you have to go to a job, you have to work 8 hours a day, you have to get a paycheck, and you have to repeat that until you're 65 years old, and then you can retire. And then what happens? You have no energy to retire. You have no energy to do all those things that you were waiting to do when you retire, right? So that system does not work anymore. Uranus in Taurus is coming to teach us that. What if foundation, security, stability was not found only in money, but was found in consciousness? I share this with you because once Uranus leaves retrograde Taurus, it's going to go back into Gemini, Uranus and Gemini. When it moves into Gemini, Gemini is an air sign, which means that we're going to start to look at things untangible as a source of our financial abundance, our prosperity, our security. Now, what's so exciting about that is that we are most likely heading towards, I wouldn't say a globalized currency, but we are moving towards digital currency becoming even more and more and more prevalent, whether it's cryptocurrency or even some of the governments. I heard that the United States has a dollar-backed cryptocurrency that I don't know if it's out yet or it's working on it or whatever. And that many, many, many countries around the world, I know that China is moving to a place of also having a digital currency. You can see it happening around you. Think about it. I know for myself, like I very rarely carry cash on me, right? I usually have my phone, I tap my phone or use a credit card. Very rarely. Think about when you need to pay somebody back. You don't go and you have to go to the ATM and you have to get the cash. You have to bring them the cash. You have to count it out. You have to get change. We don't do that anymore. We say, oh, last night I had dinner with a bunch of friends. Oh, I owe you $100. Here, let me Venmo you $100. Right? It's so easy now to exchange currency. And guess what? It's going to become even easier, if you could imagine. And what that means is that we want to be on the cutting edge of that, right? Not attached to it. So much of our energy is attached to the number that's in the bank, the security of that, what that is, or whatever. How many things are you ignoring that could bring you more a sense of joy if you actually allowed yourself to release and let go and spend a little bit of that money, right? How many of us get committed to a number and say, that's the number that makes me feel secure, instead of saying, you know what would really make me feel secure? That vacation, because it would de-stress me. It would help me unwind. It would allow me the space to meditate, to communicate with the universe, to become more congruent with who I am inside. So my friends, you may be called in the next coming 3 or 4 months to let go of your purse strings a little bit in favor of choosing the joy, the happiness, the energy of what money actually brings you, of what security actually brings you. This is a great time to reevaluate it. Now, it is also said, okay, this is the astrologers speaking, not me. It is also said too that this is also can be a volatile time for our markets. Okay, whether it be the crypto market or the stock market or commodities or any of those things. It is said that during Uranus and Taurus, really there's a lot of fluctuations in the market. It doesn't mean that there's a crash. It doesn't mean whatever. It just means there's a lot of fluctuations in the market. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Do not be reactive. Do not be reactive. Think about it as air. That's where we're moving to. We're moving from Earth. Taurus is an Earth sign, keeps us grounded, keeps us oftentimes stuck, rigid, to air. Oh, wow. I'm asking for money. Money just comes. Can you imagine? Money just comes easily. Money just comes freely. Money just comes. Now, I'll tell you something. I've become so aware of how we look at money. I've become so aware of what our relationship with money is that something really, really, really changed for me. And I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to share a quick story with you guys. So a couple of weeks ago, I was having a beautiful, amazing evening with my partner, right? It was so connected, so honest, so vulnerable. We were holding each other. We were talking deeply. We were just really connected. And then all of a sudden, I got a ping on my phone, which is very rare, by the way. So this means the universe was speaking to me. My phone is almost always on silent. And somehow the ringer was on or something. And I heard this sound. And it was a money sound, right? Like a cash machine. And I have that as a symbol to either when I owe something or when I receive money. And so it took me out of the moment instantly. And I checked my phone and it was a message that a bill was overdue by a day. And I freaked out, typically, right? I freaked out. I ran to the app. How did I miss that? How did I miss that payment? I can't believe I did that. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen to me? Where is the money? I hope the money is there. I hope that this is not a mistake. All those negative thoughts came running instantly into my mind. What did they do? They robbed me. They robbed me from the presence of being with my partner. They robbed me from that joy and that happiness. And so after it was all over with, of course, I paid the bill. I got it all finished. But to return to that space that I was in with my partner, I'd already been disconnected. The cortisol was running through my veins. There was a different sensation there. I just kind of sat in meditation later that night. And I thought, you know what? What would it take for us to shift our relationship with money? In that moment, when I got that ping, I saw money almost as the enemy. Think of it. I saw money as quantity, something that was quantifiable. I saw money as the opponent, right? It took me out of the situation. And I realized, what if we changed our relationship to money? So I started to think about that. What if money was your lover? What if money was your best friend? What if money was not your enemy? What if it was not your boss? What if money was not a job? What if money was energy? What if money was as easy and as free and as available as electricity in the walls? What if money was like the minerals in the earth, always there to support me? So I started to think about these things, and it really inspired me to create a really cool experience that I'm doing called Money As. It's a 5-day experience. We will begin this coming Monday, and it will be from 8 a.m. to 8:20 Eastern Standard Time. I know it's early, but it is what we call a consciousness tune-up call. You can have the recordings. Of course, there will be recordings. But what's going to happen in that time is that each day we're going to go through a different relationship. And we're going to look at how you are and how you show up in that relationship. And we're going to look at and compare it to how you do or you don't show up with money. And in that day, we're going to look at how to heal your relationship with money by healing and looking at the aspects of those relationships that you admire, that you love, that you want to foster and nurture and nourish. It's a very, very, very cool offering. I've never done anything like this. It's very different from anything. Of course, the call will be full of clearings. It will be full of mantras. It will be full of really, really cool things that you can take home with you and utilize in your day-to-day life immediately. And I have to be honest with you, I didn't plan it based around this Uranus in Taurus. Also, the full moon of Taurus is on the 4th too, so that's going to amp up this energy as well. I didn't plan it around this, but it is a divine timing, right? To stay conscious and clear with your relationship with money. So that's the offering that we have this month to heal our relationship with money, to heal our relationship with safety and security. And also, what would it take for consciousness to become the new currency? Are you willing to be filthy, filthy, filthy rich in consciousness? And what if that energy translated into every single area of your life? So that's Money As, and that starts on Monday. It will last for 3 different weeks. I'm doing it for 3 weeks, but the first week is Money As relationships with people. The second one is Money As relationships as actions or verbs. And the third week is Money As energy. You can sign up for either week or all 3 weeks. It doesn't matter. Learn about that on my website, theprovocativeintuitive.com. Okay, so that's Uranus and Taurus. Really, 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 it is about awakening. It is about innovation. It is about revolution, and all with how we view security, stability, money, anything that has to do with the earth. Okay, so that's the first aspect. The second aspect of the month that we want to look at is Mercury in retrograde. Okay, this particular retrograde is an interesting one. Hold on one second. Let me pull up my notes. Okay. So now, when does it start? First of all, when does it start? It starts on November 9th. We are currently kind of in a shadow. So if you feel like things are a little off during this time, it's not you. It's Mercury retrograde, right? So what I want to kind of become aware of is Mercury is going to be in the sign of Sagittarius when it goes retrograde. Okay. What that means is that, whenever Mercury is in retrograde, it is oftentimes one of the biggest excuses that we use as to why things do not work, right? We like to blame everything on Mercury in retrograde, and it's not too far off. You are allowed during that time to blame Mercury in retrograde. All right. It's fine. However, to harp on it and to make it an excuse about every single thing in your life so that you don't take responsibility, that's when it becomes a problem. Mercury in retrograde is an opportunity for each and every one of us to become more congruent between our thoughts and our words, between what we think and how we communicate. And that energy is something that we all overlook. We don't make communication a priority. And from my point of view, I've always felt like Mercury in retrograde gives us an amazing opportunity to actually just take a pause. And as we begin to take a pause during Mercury retrograde, we can ask, am I communicating from my heart? Am I communicating with kindness? Am I communicating clearly? Am I communicating effectively? And it is okay during the Mercury retrograde phase to actually ask people and to say, and to pause for a second and say, did I make my, am I making sense here? This is a time when it is absolutely okay, and do it with love, not condescension. Don't be condescending about it. Just be like, you know what? I'm finding that sometimes I'm not articulating what it is I want to say so clearly. And when you say that, what you can do is then allow yourself the presence and the time to have somebody say back to you, could you repeat yourself for me? And that's okay, right? It's okay. And actually, it'll actually help you in the long run, because the clearer you are about communications during this time, the more the effects will last on the back end. So you won't have to go back, waste time, digging up old things that you thought you said that you didn't say, that you're looking at old texts. No, I told you this. This is what I said, right? And then come to find out you didn't say it. Those are the things that we really want to be mindful of this month. So ask. There's something that we're going to do in one of the workshops. It's going to be about active listening, right? Active listening is an incredible, incredible skill, an incredible tool. And active listening is when, as we're engaging with somebody else, we actually say, so this is what I hear you saying, so that we are sharing with them how we're interpreting that which they're communicating. This is an incredible skill, and that is why I have created another really powerful workshop to help us with this particular Mercury in retrograde. And the name of the workshop is called Hello, It's Me. It's not an Adele song, I promise you. And that particular workshop, Hello, It's Me, is going to be about articulating clearly and having your voice heard through using active listening, and also being mindful and aware of how we receive what people have to say to us. Do you naturally receive what people have to say to you with criticism, or do you receive it with grace? Okay, so because when Mercury retrogrades, remember I told you it's going to start in Sagittarius, but it's going to actually retrograde into Scorpio. And when Mercury is in Scorpio, we take everything personally. So it's not only a retrograde, but it's a retrograde in Scorpio. Remember, I told you this one was going to be a doozy. The reason is you're going to want to make everything emotional. And you're going to want to make everything about you. It's not. Okay? It is absolutely not. Remember, Scorpio is a sign of your intuition, of your intuitive abilities, and your intuitive communication when the sign is in the when Scorpio is in the sign of when Scorpio is in the planet Mercury. So a lot of the things that you're going to want to say are going to be intuitive, but you're going to want to put the brakes on, or you're going to want to make it all about you. Take a deep breath, relax into it, and just ask yourself, is what I want to communicate, or is what I am hearing for my highest and best? That's all you have to do. Albania says, my moon is in Scorpio and it's a ride. How are we to manage that Scorpio moon? Well, sister, you know I have Scorpio moon too. And I'd like to take your word manage, and I'd like to transform that. And I would like to invite you to enjoy your Scorpio moon this month, not as something you have to manage or make wrong, but something that you get to actually help you to ascend to higher levels. As you know, the Scorpio moon is one of the biggest placements in the zodiac for intuitive and psychic abilities. And so practice every single day this month, going into and asking, what am I aware of? Allow your intention when you're asking, what am I aware of? Allow your awarenesses that come to you to be from the highest place. When you get a hit about something, a psychic hit about something, or an intuitive hit about something or someone, instead of the need to go rush to communicate it to them, pause and ask, can this person hear me? Can this person hear this message? And you'll get a light or a heavy on that. And if it's heavy, that means no. Don't communicate it. So then you might ask, well, then why am I given the message? Because it's for you. Is that person a mirror for you? Do you need to become aware of that aspect in them that you see that is actually a reflection of you? That we have to become congruent with. It could also be a message to stay away from that person, quite frankly. If the intuitive hit is so intense for you, sometimes for me, I'm like, oh, yeah, don't want to mess with that energy right now. That might be something somebody is going through right now. And as you know, when you have Scorpio moon, sun, moon, and rising, Cancer, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, you are extra sensitive. You pick up people's energies very, very intensely. And you make them yours, and they're not yours. So sometimes it's best when you get those energetic hits to walk away. One of the other things that I use is I like to ask, is it truth or is it perception? Because how much of that which we see in others intuitively, again, is laden with a perception that you have from your own life experience, right? Think of it this way. Think of it like, I guess the best way I could describe it is like, for some reason, I'm seeing like the Native American tribes, right? Can you imagine what it was like for them when all of a sudden these white people from England showed up on their land and they were like, whoa, what is this? It almost feels alien. It feels foreign, right? What does that do to us? It makes us scared. But really, there's no difference between us except our cultures, maybe our skin color, whatever, but we're all actually deeply, deeply, deeply the same. But we're so afraid that we don't take the time to actually remove those walls and barriers to get to know other people. That goes for both sides, by the way. I'm not highlighting one side or the other, but I'm saying how many of us could have a different life experience with those who are our neighbors, with those who are our colleagues, our coworkers. What if we could have a different life experience just by asking a few questions instead of making crazy perceptions and judgments? That's something we're all going to be called to this month, especially those of us with Scorpio placements in our chart. Ask, is there an awareness that I need to have to protect me as well? Right? Remember, your intuition is always to protect you. It's a guidance system. It wants to keep you out of the line of fire, so to speak. Allow it to do that. Allow it to be that. Ooh, House of Meraki on Instagram is saying, what about any thoughts on 3i Atlas? So excited. Thank you for asking. Just my intuitive thoughts. For those of you who haven't heard, I don't know, maybe you're living under a rock, but the 3i Atlas is this energy. I'm going to call it an energy because we can't identify it as a comet. We can't identify it as anything we've ever seen before. We know that it's very close to getting closer to our orbit. What do I think of it? You know, a lot of people talk about the energy of aliens, right? And it's interesting in the analogy that I just gave, right, about the Native Americans seeing the white people from England coming for the first time. I think many of us, that's how we feel about aliens, right? We know that they're out there. We know that they are out there, but we've only seen them characterized with big heads, balls of eyes, and no mouths and whatever. That's all we've ever seen. But I am pretty sure in my heart, what I feel like that which you think an alien to be is actually an energy force. And I don't think that it is ever intended to come and harm anything or anyone. I think, if anything, these energies are coming to heighten our intuition, heighten our awareness. They're coming to, I hate to use the word to save us because that seems very, religious. They're not coming to save us, but I think they're coming to help us. This energy is coming to help us, right? The energy is coming to help us. The energy will actually change the electromagnetic field around the Earth. Do you guys understand what that means? The shift of the electromagnetic field around the Earth is going to shift your energy. It's going to shift your consciousness. Are you going to release and let go, or are you going to hold on for dear life? This is the age of Aquarius, my friends. You cannot hold on for dear life. If you hold on for dear life, you're going to lose a limb. You got to let go. You've got to release and let go. And I would go as far as to say you've got to be playfully excited about all these amazing things that are going to come to light. I think it's a very exciting time. We are so lucky to be alive at this time. Even the Zohar, actually, which is an ancient text on Kabbalah, thousands of years old, says, "Woe is he who lives in the time of the age of Aquarius." And by woe, they mean how exciting. That was the language they use. Not, ooh, but woe, like whoa. Woe to he who lives in the sign of the age of Aquarius. Because guess what? This time is going to be the most unpredictable time that we've ever seen on this planet. And it's exciting. It is very exciting. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Don't make anything more significant. Don't try to figure things out. You know, I've been practicing transcendental meditation, and I do it twice a day. And this is something that pretty new that I've kind of added to my repertoire of things that I use to self-soothe. And the one thing that I can be very, very clear about that I'm learning with TM is that the true key to success, the true key to having it all, the true key is being connected to that field, to be connected to the creator, the seventh plane, whatever you want to call it, that cosmic energy. And that when you are truly connected to that cosmic energy and you relax and you let go, that's when you can absolutely have everything and anything that you want. When life just flows, when it's easy. And I know this doesn't make sense, you guys, because our world, we've been conditioned. We have all been conditioned. Work, 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 work. We've been conditioned. This is what you have to do to get this, and this is what you have to do that. It is all a lie. It is all a lie. It is all a lie. Yes, there may be elements of it that we have used to our advantage to work for us, but what I've come to learn is that what is beyond that, when we actually relax, when we relax into the field, when we go deeper and deeper and deeper into that quantum field, to that quantum consciousness, to the seventh plane energy, the creator of all that is, my God, you guys, we have no idea. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface yet. So thank you for asking. I really appreciate that. That was a beautiful, beautiful invitation. So the last thing I want to talk about this month, the last key element that I want to talk about this month is the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. That happens around the 22nd of this month. New moons are always a really, really great time for manifesting, for, planting seeds and doing all these things. And, because we had that double new moon in the month of September, we had 2 new moons in the time of Virgo. We had 2 Virgo new moons. It feels like we're a little bit behind, meaning we're going to start the lunar month of Scorpio the day the solar month of Scorpio ends, right? Now, what I can tell you about that is that I think that that's a really, really cool thing, because you're going to take all of the energy that you learned from the sun being in Scorpio in the month ahead, and you're going to take it into the lunar aspects. You're going to manifest it in the lunar aspects of your chart, which is your emotions, which is your reactive system, which is your deeper intuition. Okay? So when we manifest on the new moon in Scorpio at the end of the month, what that's going to be is it's going to be a very, very powerful, multi-dimensional experience of manifesting that you may not have done before, right? So often manifesting is done from a very, very, very limited point of view, right? Very limited point of view. Like, this is what I'm going to manifest. This is what I'm going to manifest. This is what I'm going to manifest. And we just go along our list and go, I'm manifesting this, and we visualize it, visualize it. Now, when the moon is in Scorpio, when we manifest with all our energy, right? We manifest with our intuition. We manifest with our emotions. We manifest with all our 5 senses and our 6th sense. What I can tell you about that is that it's a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous opportunity to excel all of your manifestations. Okay, by that time too, I believe we should be wrapping up Mercury in retrograde around that time too. Sorry, I don't have my calendar in front of me, so I can't really tell you for sure. Actually, I can figure it out. Oh, okay. So we'll have the new moon, and then like right after the new moon, Mercury will go direct. Okay. So that's cool too. I just saw that that's how we're going to manifest. Our workshop, our new moon workshop for the sign of Scorpio, will be on the 23rd. It'll be on the 23rd of the month. And then the day after is the day that Mercury goes direct. So that will be very cool too. I love how, I plan these things, you guys, and I don't even necessarily look at the astrology. I do it just intuitively, like, oh, let's do this here. Let's do this here. And then all of a sudden I do the astrology and I go, oh my God, that's so incredibly cool. Okay, so let's talk about what some of the aspects are, the things that the classes and the workshops that we're going to be sharing with you all. Okay, now, those of you may or may not know, today and tomorrow is the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a very special holiday in Mexico that is celebrated, and is said that it's when all of our ancestors on the other side come to hang out and come to visit with us. And it is true. The veils are very thin, and that's according to all different cultures, believe it or not, just not in Mexico. It's actually the origins of what Halloween actually is. The veils are thin, right? And so what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to have the first workshop of the month, which is called Whispers Beyond the Veil, honoring your ancestors and the Day of the Dead, or whatever that means to you. So we'll gather tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central European Time. And I'm going to share with you some of my intuitive ways with which I connect to my ancestors. And we're actually going to do a really cool exercise that I've been meditating on to share with you guys. A meditation on how to connect to your ancestors, and a meditation to actually ask and receive a message for them. So in the workshop, you're actually going to receive an intuitive message from your ancestors on the Day of the Dead. So I'm very excited about that. That's tomorrow. Again, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central European Time. So then the following Sunday, that is Sunday the 9th, we will have our weekly download called Hello, It's Me. And that is the one that I was telling you about, which is the Mercury in retrograde. The Mercury in retrograde weekly download. And we'll go through all those really, really cool things that I talked about with you on how to become more congruent with your communications, how to speak more intuitively with others, and how to trust your intuition more than ever. Okay. The weekly download for Hello, It's Me is November 9th. Again, 8 p.m. Central European, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the week after, November 16th, is a workshop that I'm doing called Raising Your Vibration. Obviously, we have a lot of energies here that are kind of intense, right? But guess what? If you keep your vibe high, nothing can ever happen to you. When your vibration is high, what happens is you're actually ascending beyond the limitations of this 3D reality, beyond time, space, and motion. When your vibe is high, things just happen for you naturally. What we're going to do in the Raising Your Vibration workshop is I'm going to give you key tools and things that you can do to actually elevate your vibe, to keep your vibration high. This is something that I feel very passionate about now, especially as we become so bombarded with a lot of negative energy, or a lot of big energies. This will help you to kind of ascend above it or below it, whichever way you want to go. And then, of course, the last weekly download of the month will be on November 23rd. That's the new moon workshop. I've titled the workshop Two Sides, Same Coin, because Scorpio is all about what's black and white. But that's not the way the world works. The universe, the world, the 3D world works in a gray, there's gray area. So we're going to learn how to actually see the gray area and not make things so extreme. That is from the place that we want to manifest, you guys, where things are not extreme, where they're an opportunity, not an obligation. So that's going to be a really fun workshop. Again, that's at the end of November, on November 23rd. And the following week, there will be no, there's actually 5 Sundays in November, but the following week on November 30th, there will be no weekly download that day, as I want to honor everyone's Thanksgiving weekend for those of you in America. Okay, so those are all the downloads. You can register for each weekly download individually. It's only $30, or you can register for the whole month and get them all a part of my monthly subscription on Substack. Okay, my Substack is called A Space for Us. You can go to Substack, check it out, or also there's a link in the bios, both here on Instagram and on YouTube, if you're joining anywhere that is. And if you have any questions, just send me a message, just text me. It's fine. Just send me a DM or something, and I will help you to figure out how to navigate all of those things. Yeah. So our friend asks one more question. When you say ancestors, are you talking about a relative like parents, grandparents on the other side, or ancestors like from many years ago? I love that. Or from many years ago, or from many years ago. Can be both. Can be absolutely both. Whatever ancestors want to come and to contribute to you. If you have an intention about who you want to connect to, you can absolutely do that. When we do the Connecting to the Ancestors workshop, I want you to actually tap into an energy that you're aware of that you would like to communicate with. Okay? So it will be very cool. Exactly. Or dimensions ago. Exactly. Well, you guys, I want to thank you all for being a part of this amazing contribution. Again, the monthly download for the month of November. If you're just joining or joining a little bit late, the replay will be on both Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, actually. All those different places you can tap into, hear it again. If you missed something, I really want to tell you, we are having so much fun with the weekly download. I'd really like to encourage everyone to come, drop back in, say hi, play with it. Please do. Jessica asked a great question. Do your past dogs have spirits that come? Yes, they do. They absolutely do. 100%, my love. Actually, have you guys ever seen the movie Coco? Coco is such a great representation of the spirit world. Like, they did a really great job with that movie. And it's also about the Day of the Dead. Yeah, cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. I will let you know when I'm back in New York, of course. But I'm everywhere, you know? All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you all. Have an amazing month full of abundance, 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 consciousness, love, prosperity, connection, love. This is Scorpio. So also really good sex. Sex, sex, sex. Enjoy it. This is the time. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys. I love you. Mwah. See you soon.